Sony screwed up in a major way. Not only they had Nintendo Switch killer before Nintendo Switch was a thing, they could have been dominating the portable market right now. And unlike them, Nintendo actually saw the potential in the market, and not just saw the potential in the portable market, they switched to it completely. No pun intended. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the biggest failure of Sony, yet still one of the best portable consoles on the market right now. And we're going to be talking about, of course, none other than PlayStation Vita. And in this video, we're going to be touching all of the major points, whether it is worth it to buy, what can you do with it, or why actually it failed. Or rather, why Sony allowed it to fail. And yes, as in every single one of my videos, I'm going to be giving you the answer right away. And the answer is, of course, PlayStation Vita was not just capable console back then, it is still an amazing console to play. With an extensive library of PlayStation Vita and the few other console generations as well, this thing is insanely good value. Plus, the battery life on this thing is insane. The comfort, the portability, it has everything except for the support. But now let's get into the details. Thanks to HelloFresh for supporting this video. With HelloFresh, you'll get fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Eating well is on the top of your mind this month, and it's comforting to know that you'll always get top quality with HelloFresh. Ingredients travel from a farm to you in less than 7 days, so you know they're fresh. And we all want to save money at this time of the year, but you know that HelloFresh helps you to save money all year round. In fact, HelloFresh is cheaper than grocery shopping and 25% cheaper than a takeout. So if you're looking for an easy way to eat well and save money as well this year, cut back on expensive takeout and delivery and get started with HelloFresh. You'll love how fast, easy, and affordable it is to whip out a restaurant quality meal right in your kitchen. To try HelloFresh, just click on the link down below for a special limited time discount plus free shipping. Try HelloFresh today. Again, thanks for supporting this video. So what even is PlayStation Vita? PlayStation Vita was a portable console released by Sony in the years 2011 and 2012, based on, of course, which region it was released in. And it was a direct continuation of madly popular PSP. It was released as an ultimate portable console, but it quickly went into obscurity and Sony just abandoned it outright. With a few different versions released, like PS Vita 1000 or original PlayStation Vita, which is this one, PS Vita 2000, and PlayStation TV, which was a home console version of PlayStation Vita. Hardware-wise, it was insanely good. Original PS Vita had an OLED screen, had both front and back camera, had touchscreen, had a back touchpad, dual analog sticks, gyroscope, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and all the things that you ever wanted. It also came out in a mobile phone version as well. Like basically you could put a SIM card in there. And since the production has been discontinued, today you can actually get this console somewhere from $100 to around $300 depending on the configuration and the condition of the console. Physical size-wise, it is not that big. Like, compare this to iPhone 12 Pro Max. Like sizes match up basically exactly. It's just a little bit longer than this large iPhone. But what it can do? Well, other than playing the PlayStation games, if you will, of course, are willing to jailbreak the device or hack or mod or whatever you want, it also has an ability to play bunch of other libraries of games. Like, you can play all of the PSP games, you can also play PSX games, which is basically the PlayStation 1 games, and you can practically play any console generation before that, like N64, Super Nintendo, and whatever console generation that you want before that, this can play it, basically transforming this into an ultimate retro console. And modders not even stopped right there. This console has even an Android ports, and the best among them are of course the GTA ports. You can play GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas fully on this console. Yes, you really can do that. In addition, it has a bunch of different apps, but mainly you'll be focusing on the gaming part of the thing. And one of the most amazing parts for me is probably a battery life. This thing can last for really long time. I played GTA San Andreas for 6 hours, not plugged, from 100%, and this thing still had juice left in it. And San Andreas is not an easy game to run. 6 hours of gaming in a thing like that is not the short thing. Plus it charges pretty fast as well. And with an amazing OLED screen, all of the games look simply fantastic. But this console is not without its downside. First downside is, of course, between different versions. Like for example, PS Vita 1000 has an OLED screen, but PS Vita 2000 has an LCD screen, which is of a lower quality. Also, 2000 is also thinner and lighter. And another issue is with the charging port. This PS Vita 1000 had proprietary charging port, and yeah, if you'll break it and if you'll not be able to find it anywhere, yeah, good luck. This thing basically is dead. While PS Vita 2000 has a micro USB charger, which is far more abundant. And the biggest flaw, and probably one of the reasons why this console has failed, is in its proprietary memory card. Yes, you need a Sony released proprietary PS Vita memory card to actually run this console. And yeah, the prices for those are insanely high. Yes, they are way too expensive for what it is. But if you'll be able to get like for the big size, like for example 32 gigs, like I had 32 gigs on this one, and I have like more than 15 games installed there, and they're not even small games. Yes, the 32 gigs will be more than enough, but it will cost you more than $100 just for the memory card. Thankfully, if you have a modded version or hacked version, you can actually get a special adapter that will allow you to use SD cards in your, well, basically game card slot. You can put it right here. This is basically where game card will be inserted, like physical game cards, and you can actually buy a special adapter that will allow you to put micro SD cards in there and just use it as a expanded storage. And with that, you can get the 256 or maybe even 512 gigs. I'm not sure exactly how much memory you can get, but you can get memory which will be more than enough for you, because usually largest games for PS Vita are no more than 4 gigs. Maybe a little bit more, but majority of the games are far less than this, closer to 1 or maybe even 2 gigs in some cases. But what about the games? What games can you play on this one? And what games are even on PS Vita? Well, the games were the most major issue, because this console did not have a system seller games. Yes, it did not. Yes, we had a special PlayStation Vita Uncharted game, we had a Little Big Planet version of it, we also had a Killzone game, we also had a Tearaway, and a lot of games like that, but we did not have a truly system-selling exclusives on these consoles. Like, I'm gonna give you a very generic example. PSP, the console before that, which is far more inferior than this one, had 2 exclusive God of War games. Yes, it had 2 exclusive God of War games. It also had the Monster Hunter games, which were complete system sellers in Japan. And it had a bunch of different games. Do you know how many God of War games this console had? None. If you will not count the God of War collection, which is basically the first and second God of War games ported from PS2. And yes, this means that this console could actually run PS2 games. And do you know how many Monster Hunter games did we have on this one? Yes. Exactly, none. The game library here was not that great. And then unless you're a lover of very niche games, yeah, you would not find the great games on this one. Don't get me wrong, there are great games on this console. There are. As an example, you could play full version of Borderlands 2 on this console. Yes, Borderlands 2 on their portable console. And it's not even a modded version, it's a full version of the... It's an official version. You had an amazing games like Dragon's Crown, you could play Persona 4 Golden, you had the Rayman games like Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends, you had the Soul Sacrifice Delta, you had the games like Velocity series, Steam World series, 2D amazing Souls like Salt and Sanctuary, and even if you enjoy like kind of like open world JRPGs, you could play the game like Ys 8 on this one. And the library was insanely big, but the majority of the games were for way too small niche audiences. Like for example, Soul Sacrifice Delta, amazing game and one of the largest games on the console, is great game, but it's not for everyone. Salt and Sanctuary, amazing 2D Souls-like, which is practically Dark Souls but in 2D, great and amazing game. But yeah, not for everyone, just because how difficult it is. Ys 8, amazing JRPG game, very long, has open world, and closest game that you could get on this console to Monster Hunter. Yeah, great game, but again, not for everyone, and definitely not a system seller. Dragon's Crown and a few games like it. Yes, amazing games, but not for everyone. It does not have mass appeal. And just because of this not console, not system seller games, an awful memory situation, yeah, console just slowly died. Because yeah, no matter how great your hardware is, if there are not great games on it, yeah, it's doomed to die. Just to give you an example what games can do to a hardware, take even Nintendo Switch. Switch is not the best or strongest console. It's not. It's a mainline console. It's not even considered as a portable console. It's considered as a mainline console competitor to PlayStation or Xbox. And it's even weaker than PlayStation 4, and it may be even on par with the PlayStation 3 in today's generation. Yet, it has an amazing games like Super Mario games and Zelda games, and it even has the games like Skyrim and Witcher and a lot of great games that sells the console. And this thing is not much weaker than Switch. And this was released in 2011. Imagine if they continued with this what type of console they could release maybe in 2018 or 2019. It would be a complete killer of Switch. But speaking of games, if you like the games on PSP, you also have an ability to play PSP games, and you also have an ability to upscale the resolution to that as well, because the resolution of the PSP was exactly half of the resolution of this console. But yeah, you can, if you're using the Adrenaline launcher, you have an ability to upscale the games to, well, native resolution. As for the older consoles, you will not be able to run every game for the old generation of consoles, like even from the Nintendo 64, but you could run majority of the big titles, comfortably run the games like Ocarina of Time or even Super Mario 64, which I won't be showing in this video because of the copyright issues. But overall, would I recommend you to buy this console today, like right now? And the answer is yes. To this day, I take this thing everywhere, and when I want to relax for a few minutes or maybe for an hour, I just whip this console out and just play there for really long time without ever realizing how much time has passed. The screen looks amazing, the controls are pretty great for the portable console. It's not the big console way, like the analog sticks are pretty flimsy, but they are good enough. Yes, the back touchscreen is the fingerprint magnet, as you can see it right now, and it's not the most comfortable thing to hold for a really long time. If you have large hands like mine, like this can literally fit in a palm of my hand, and yeah, to play it like that, I need to hold this like this, and it's not the best feeling, or otherwise I could hold it like that, but I will always be pressing the buttons, because yes, these are buttons technically, but all in all, this thing is amazing, and shame to Sony for abandoning this gem and just abandoning portable market in its entirety. They took all the bad to the PlayStation VR, and yeah, they were not wrong. PlayStation VR is a great thing, and maybe it's even future, but this thing could have been your company's saver. This thing would ascend you to the unattainable levels of sales. But no, you decided to go in a completely different direction and just abandon the goose that was carrying a golden eggs for you. But yeah, whatever. This is your choice and your loss. And yeah, no, I guess it's a loss for everyone. So what do you think? Do you have PlayStation Vita? Do you enjoy it? Let me know in the comments down below. This will be it for today. Thank you for being here with me. Like the video if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. See ya.